Personally, it's just my opinion. I think it has to do with whoever these powers are feel that they, in fact, in point of fact, own us as a possession. It's like they actually own the human race. And I think that possibly there are other entities here who are moving in on that territory. It's just like I have entity. Reasons for saying that.
Define entity.
Well, that's another problem.
You mean?
Yeah. Okay. I'm totally convinced that there are extraterrestrial life forms here. That's just my opinion. I have no doubt in my mind about that. And I also believe that we are a manufactured product. I think that we have been designed by someone, and that whole concept, it does not in any way conflict with Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, because in the Jewish and the Christian religion, we're told that God created man and said, now man has become one of us, knowing good and evil, and let us, he's now like us. And so I'm totally convinced that we are a manufactured product, and somebody, whoever it is that has designed us, owns us, and there's a war going on for this creation. It's a very incredible story. And I've heard so many people talking about this in private, and I think that there is something to that. I think that they are, the Vatican, when you look at how the Vatican views the world, it's frightening. It's the scariest story I've ever heard, how the Vatican actually views the earth and everything on it. It's scary. And I had a young man explain that to me quite a while back, and I became actually fearful. They were talking on the phone, and I said, I don't want to hear this because it's scary. Because I knew he was right, and I know my phones are being bugged, and the feds are listening. And I said, I don't want to hear this. I don't want anybody to know that I know this. I want to talk to him privately, not on the phone. He was.
You can give him my number.
This young man was truly scary because he had, I think, cracked the code.
But it also goes back to the Gnostic belief that there's a harvest of souls at the end of time. And if they are our owners, perhaps we possess something that they want. And the Gnostics believe that at the end of time, which could be 2012, that there is a harvest. And the Grim Reaper, of course, has a sickle, which is what you use to harvest. And this goes back to Saturn and Kronos and time, which we can get into some other time. But that is what I think is going on. They believe that there's going to be a harvest, and it's going to be soon.
Yeah, I have one other answer for you, too, which is that I think when we look at the secret societies that we've identified within NASA, the Masons, the Scottish Rite Freemasons, the Magicians, the SS, I think the key to the whole thing is the old phrase, knowledge is power, right? And then if you think about that, what is the most powerful, what's the most important knowledge that anybody can have? To me, as I think about it, it's how about the date of the end of the world and the knowledge of where to find the ark, the technology to avoid the end of the world. And I think that that's what we're seeing playing out within NASA. That's the purpose of NASA.
And beyond.
Absolutely, you're right, Mike. Absolutely.
And that's what I think that these secret societies are doing within NASA, is they're playing those two roles. Remember, in the I think it's in the Sumerian tale of the flood, that Sitchin talks about. Basically, Enki tells Noah, I forget his Sumerian name, tells him, oh, you need to build this ark, but by the way, don't tell any of the people that are building it for you what it's for. Yes. And that's NASA. So
I've got a twofold question about NASA's desire to keep all of these dates having special dates. First one is the rovers, both Spirit and Opportunity. Is there any specific symbolism to the dates they either took off or landed?
Why not go back to Pathfinder? Pathfinder was a tetrahedral spacecraft, and we've got the launches and landings and all that landed at 19.5 degrees.
By 33 degrees.
But I mean, for the other two rovers, Spirit and Opportunity, they're up there right now.
Actually, I got to be honest with you. I don't pull out my redshift much anymore. After about 85 hits in that little ritual model, I kind of think I have enough
It's
data.
like, ho-hum, they're at it again.
I don't know. I haven't actually looked at it. It's something that's on my list of to-dos. Look at the launch. Look at the landing.
But you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. All this data is Google. Google is your friend. You get launch times, landing times. You get redshift.
Latitude and longitude.
Latitude
and then
and longitude.
you plug it in.
You plug it all in and look yourself.
Start a website.
The meta message.
Start a website and send us an email. And, darkmission.net. Go to the email there and send it to me and say that you were at this conference. And
Second question is, you think you can use the NASA dates for some kind of predictive disclosure? In other words, can you use these dates to predict something that will happen in the future, maybe disclosure or something else?
well,
Okay, let me interrupt.
okay.
When I said disclosure, I'm not using that in the classic sense of certain people in the UFO community who somehow seem to think in their interesting state that the president's going to sit down behind the desk in the Oval Office, look into the camera and say, "My fellow Americans,
There's aliens."
we are not alone."
Yeah.
Never
Ain't gonna
gonna happen. We are the frog in the pot with the temperature being turned up. All of this stuff. Remember, the same week that we held our press conference, suddenly a judge ordered NASA to release the files on Kecksburg. Well, isn't that special?
So suddenly NASA got us off the front page.
Yeah.
And probably the reason those two guys from the Washington Post or whatever left is because you didn't say a damn thing about Kecksburg, which is probably what they were
Yeah,
there
that's probably why they came.
Yeah,
And-
and don't forget Kucinich and Carter.
Yeah, that's right. Kucinich comes out in Shirley MacLaine's book admitting he saw UFOs.
Kucinich.
And then Jimmy Carter, of course, the president who wanted to open up the UFO files. That comes back again, that he didn't do it. We know Ronald Reagan saw UFOs, wasn't able to do anything. But suddenly there's an awful lot of UFOs in mainstream stuff on the presidential election. We've got Bill Clinton, who, when he was lighting the tree in Belfast toward the end of his administration, suddenly introduced a fictitious boy. He doesn't exist. Turns out he does not exist, and there's been an FOIA search for the letter that he claimed he had read, wanting to know, did a UFO really land at Roswell? And what I always found interesting, I got this all on tape, is they did a cutaway of Hillary when Bill was doing this and supposedly answering this letter, and she looks like death warmed over. If looks could kill, Bill Clinton would be our 42nd martyred president. Because she was saying to herself, holy cow, what is he doing to my chances to be elected?
Yeah.
And this is back in, what, 1998
98 or 99, yeah.
somewhere.
I can't believe Bill Clinton lied about something. Are you kidding me?
I know, it's just stunning.
Amazing.
Stunning.